Judge.
It's
That's
that
it.
simple.
That's all you got to do. For the love of God, if you are in any competitive level event, like if you're in a
Please.
summoner skirmish, if you're in a store championships, if you're in a PQ,
I don't care if you're at Commander Casual Night.
and you have an interaction that you don't understand, or you have a board state that is incorrect, put your hand up and yell at judge. That's what we pay people for.
Yeah, just do it.
Just
It's like,
do it.
That's their job. They like, by the way, they like doing it.
Sorry?
How drunk can I be as
You
the
can
PA?
have one if you want. Go grab one. Honestly, if you want one, go grab one, Teddy.
I got a brown snake for it. Hard ginger beer. Not a sponsor of the channel, just a Brisbane brewed. Born on the banks of the brown snake.
By the way,
'Cause it's
Brown
just-
Snake, if you're watching this, we have a total of 80 viewers. All right, everyone, welcome back to From the Vault podcast. This is part 2 of the Q&A
part
for
2.
our return of two white guys just talking constantly
Hanging out.
at you. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Trent.
And yeah,
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
And I am Trent, also here on the podcast. And we have Teddy in the studio behind us helping out with the producing.
The
Very
studio-
helpful.
Very helpful. The studio
Very.
looks suspiciously like our G-Dub paint rack and Vallejo paint racks here at the store in Brisbane City. That you can get to 62 Queen Street if you're in Brisbane, or you can find it at vaultgames.com.
ground.
But yeah, anyway, let's get into the rest of the questions.
No, I won't go to the next question.
Okay, sure.
There's one that's exactly similar. What is the best way to politely deal with conflict or call for a judge?
Oh, well, the call for a
Oh.
judge, it's judge.
Judge.
It's
That's
that
it.
simple.
That's all you got to do. For the love of God, if you are in any competitive level event, like if you're in a
Please.
summoner skirmish, if you're in a store championships, if you're in a PQ,
I don't care if you're at Commander Casual Night.
and you have an interaction that you don't understand, or you have a board state that is incorrect, put your hand up and yell at judge. That's what we pay people for.
Yeah, just do it.
Just
It's like,
do it.
That's their job. They like, by the way, they like doing it. Judge, like those who are in the community that do it, those that are doing it at larger events that are part of like a judge program, they are only in it because they like doing it. There's
you
no
think-
money
do-
in judging.
do
They
you-
like doing it.
Do you think I wear these glasses because I can't see good?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I like doing this.
Yeah, it's that simple. And also, that's the answer for judging, right? So talk about that. Like when there's conflict, there's other options. I think a big one is remember that it is a safe space for you. And if you are feeling in a way that you're being like aggressed on, or you're not comfortable, you don't owe these people anything, right?
It's a
Pack your
game.
cards up, roll your mat up, walk out. You can talk to a staff. If you don't feel comfortable, if you're emotional and you feel I'm not going to be able to give an emotional response right now, head out, head home, go home. I'm sorry you had a rough time. Hey, if you're in that situation, go home. Okay.
And you can communicate.
Communicate that to the store. Dylan mentioned earlier in a different question where we talked about like, don't let us know as soon as possible. He used the term, let us know now, let us know immediately. Tell us right now because in a week it's not going to work. Right now is a malleable term. We mean to say as soon as you feel comfortable to speak on the matter. If that is in a week, understand that we have to work within certain parameters. But if you come in the next day, give us a call that evening, message us on our community Discord, contact one of the staff, one of the like the actual store account there. Even contact us through our Facebook page, that kind of stuff. There are ways to interact with us, lots of ways to interact with us that can really get your point across. If you truly believe that there was an unfair altercation. If you're in the situation where you're like, no, this is affecting me right now and I need this to be resolved, then it's as simple as you can call a judge over for not overruling. You know, you can call a judge over. If you're, it doesn't have to be like also an emotional invested thing. If you're sitting next to somebody and you're penning at the station and they stink, they reek for whatever reason, tell a staff member. Come over and be like, hey, I need to talk about this thing. You can ask a staff member to walk with you, to walk somewhere else, take it away from the counter if that makes you uncomfortable. You can take it away from the station that makes you uncomfortable. You can take them somewhere. A staff member is there to help and they want to help. I'll go back to the judge thing for a moment just to say that when I was playing at the, what? I can try to remember what the event was. It was a Riftbound skirmish. When I was playing the Riftbound skirmish that we ran here at Brisbane, the first one, we've run 2 for Origins now, but for the very first one that I top 8'd, there was a point where Max, one of my mates, he came up to Piper, who was working at the counter. He said to me, I feel like Trent doesn't know how to play this game at all. And Piper says, what do you mean? He goes, I don't think Trent, like, I've been listening and I've heard 12 judge calls from just Trent's table we're friends, but he was like, does he know how to play Riftbound? And Pirate explained to him that no, I was calling Judge for other tables because people would sit there and go, in the most busiest location that the staff cannot see that there's people being served, that things are happening, music is playing. They're just going, and I was watching people get quite like visibly frustrated. They're like, and I had to be like, okay, Judge, top of my lungs. Pipe would come. It was Maddie that was judging that event. They were doing a great job. And I had to be like, Judge, Maddie would walk over to me, and I'd say, it's that table right there. She goes, what? And then they'd look over and go, it's just like, dude, just call the judge.
Please pay attention at the event announcements at the start of the event, because our team is trained to say at the start of every event the words, if you need help today, you need help resolving a conflict, or you need help understanding an interaction on the board state or the card, put your hand high in the air and yell out, judge. Someone will come on over and help you out.
Yeah.
Now, so please pay attention to that. In saying that, to go back to the, like, not necessarily judges, but dealing with conflict and dealing with that kind of stuff. If you are a store owner, 100%, you need to look at tools around communication between your staff, whether that's a Facebook group, whether that's a Discord server for your team to be involved in and have some channels around that communication.
Like a Teams chat. There's like
Teams
there's
chat,
like different apps
Slack,
you can use. Slack.
God forbid a Facebook group message.
Not something I would recommend.
Please don't.
I think Slack, Teams, Discord is a very versatile app with a lot of cool plugins and add-ons.
A lot
that
of
go a long way.
API integrations that really help for automation
definitely.
in your business. And also possibly look at conflict resolution training for yourself and your store managers.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And your staff. Like, genuinely train your staff. We haven't had, like, I would say bad experiences within the store, but we found that training was so important to our staff, because there are lots of small incidents that, if not handled well, could easily snowball to massive problems. And we've had our massive problems, and they weren't necessarily snowballs. Some were not. They can just spike out of nowhere. They can be a grind. So yeah, having like Teddy here makes a great point. Having like some verbal de-escalation training.
Yep.
So important.
I think also the training helps confidence. Confidence is very important in any kind of conflict situation. Having your team having confidence in dealing with that is really helpful. So having that training to give them that confidence and reinforcing it. I should also say, like, one of the big things we try and reinforce with our team here is you can kick someone out of the store if you're uncomfortable with them being in there. Like, that is 100% what you can do.
Yes.
We will back you up whenever we can. Provide, and we also, provide training around those protected classes as well. So you can't kick people out for race, for gender, for disability, all that kind of stuff. But if you have a conflict or an issue with a person in the store, a customer in the store that is behaving inappropriately, you can 100% just kick him out. And I think 99 out of 100 times we've backed our team members all the way. And I think that one time was probably wouldn't have done that, but I can see where you're coming from, and we'll explain that to the customer as well. And let's talk to you and train you on what that situation was. And I think that the employee that happened to was still really early in their employment time period. So that's just an issue of training. So yeah, train your staff. That is why you pay them.
And I think it's just one of those things.
And that is also why you pay staff. Like, that's like that training element, to bring it back around to volunteers versus staff.
That's a great point.
Training is very
You're not training
important.
volunteers. You don't know how they're going to react. They're going to be that's a very volatile problem you put yourself into as a business.
Yeah.
I'll add as well that your staff will also really, really appreciate and respect that you take the time to do these things. Your staff will work smarter, work better, work harder. They'll love the work they do if you truly do give them the tools they need to succeed in the business. If you kind of just say, here's a paycheck, do whatever you need to do, you're going to end up with,
the paycheck to
paychecks, and also the kind of Kohl's self-serve checkout like watches. That's like kind of like that kind of vibe of staff member, which as a hobby store, as a hobby shop, or any kind of community building like situation, I like to
instantly got in my head of like whenever you're at like the Kohl's checkout and the little red lights blinking, just going, Judge.
That'd be great. I like to think of this like not in a demeaning sense or nor in like a realistic sense, but I like to think of the kind of staff member that a hobby shop needs as a librarian.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
That's how I kind of look at the staff because I'm like, librarians are some of the most passionate people you'll ever meet in the industry. And most of them are like
Most of them have done a college or university degree on being a librarian.
Exactly. And that's the kind of stuff. You don't need a college or university degree to work retail. But I will say that that that's the kind of mindset. Like yes, some of it does. That's the mindset that you want your staff to be in. You want staff who truly do care, and if you give them the tools to succeed, they will.
All right, let's go to the next question.
That was such an amazing answer. I was entranced. Next question is, what Magic the Gathering releases or changes are you most excited about?
I'm not excited for the hybrid mana change. Don't do it. Grow up.
Don't do it.
Don't ban Mystic Guardian. Don't change hybrid mana. Don't. I saw also Reaper King No More. That told me you do not change hybrid mana. Don't change hybrid mana. That's fine. I answered a different question. I don't like that. I am okay. I will say this is so dumb. I did not grow up with Teenage Ninja Turtles. I can't even say it. I did not grow up with TMNT. I did not watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. My only memory of that is like that movie, the 3D, not 3D, but like the animated movie that came out, like 3D animation.
That came out recently?
No. It came out when I was like 10 maybe. And it was like a big deal. And
yes.
it had like a PS2 game.
It was the TMNT movie.
Yes, and it was like a really big deal. Like it was like the rebranding of TMNT.
Yeah, and this was before the like, oh my God, I just forgot his name. The guy that did Bad Boys.
Oh, dude.
Transformers.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay, yeah, before the Michael Bay ones.
Before the Michael Bay ones. So, thanks to Transformers. What I've done. For me, TMNT is also kind of one of the perfect examples of like the commodification of Universes Beyond in Magic, where it's like TMNT just slapped their shit on everything. They couldn't care less. Is it Warner Brothers that owns them?
Nickelodeon.
Is Nickelodeon
Paramount.
Warner? Paramount. But is Paramount Warner?
No,
No?
not yet.
Okay, not yet. Because I know they're in like Injustice 2, aren't they? TMNT.
Yes.
Yeah, and I thought that was because they were Warner, but maybe I'm just crazy.
No. Warner got a lot of licenses.
Yeah, see, like they're in like Smite, the MOBA, like they're just in everything.
Yeah.
Like they just don't care. They'll slap TMNT on anything because it'll make them money. And when Wizards announced TMNT, they were like, I was like, this is ringing bells. Even Avatar, which was a really well handled set, I think is really cool. Even Avatar kind of is on a lot of things. Nickelodeon as well. Nickelodeon don't give a shit, by the way. Sorry. Nickelodeon don't care. They're like, just
I think the Avatar TMNT deal was done at the same time.
Yeah, most likely.
Avatar was announced, and they were like, and we've got a new Nickelodeon one coming out next year.
And next is Jimmy Neutron. But no, I think I can't wait to have Brain Blast as a card. But anyway, I made that up. That's not real. Sorry, I don't have any inside information.
It could be.
It could be. It could be Rugrats.
Universes Beyond Bionicle. We keep coming back to that.
Dude, God, that'd be so good. Anyway.
Are the Bionicle suits vehicles?
No, but the masks are equipment though, for sure.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like the barnacles are
What
just
the ones
like
with the bugs in them though.
the Makutoa, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're little like. Wait, are you talking about like the Rakshi? Because the Rakshi were from the first movie. They kind of had that kind of like long body.
The long body with the grub inside.
The cockroach head?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Rakshi. I was thinking of the ones that like.
So they would be vehicles.
I don't think so. Maybe. But like Shredder in TMNT isn't a vehicle, but Krang is like in his suit kind of thing.
That's
you know
fair.
what I mean?
Anyway.
That's not always true about Shredder, by the way. And it's only true of one of them.
It's Krang.
Also,
Krang is not in Shredders. Krang is in his own
robot
guy.
No, but he was also Shredder.
No,
there is a Shredder, but he's like a Dalek thing. I watched that.
Okay.
Maybe that's from something else. Hey, throw it in the comment section if Krang was ever in Shredder suit. Or he had like a Shredder suit. I have a feeling there was a Shredder that I was like, that's like a Dalek. Anyway. Or maybe the Dalek thing came out after that happened. It's been many years now. But the point is, what am I talking about? I'm actually really excited for TMNT. All those leaks came out because they definitely accidentally slipped them into a bunch of Loro pre-release kits. And I look some of these cards I'm actually like cracking excited for. There's that new Esper Splinter that cares about Ninja and gives them unblockable and like triggers their abilities twice.
I actually think one of the most interesting designs I saw out of the leaks over the last weekend was the Shredder Shark Mutant.
Yeah, I saw
that has first strike and then pulls a creature out that is tapped and attacking. So then that means this creature does first strike, and the creature comes out and then does regular combat damage. And I
Yeah,
was like,
in mono
that's
black
actually,
as
in
well.
mono black.
Really
I was
out of
like,
the color
this
palette.
is you've had First Strike for at least 15 years, and this is the first time you've actually done something cool with it. Like,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
And also, there's like the new bovine card that's like 2 and a green for a 0/4 flyer that just has a 2 mana.
Yeah, the
for some
bovine head,
reason.
yeah.
The bovine head.
But yeah, look, when it comes to Magic, cards on the table, so to speak, I have disengaged with Magic a lot in the last 12 months. Is that because I have a child? A little bit. It's harder to get out for games. But also, like, there's just been such an onslaught. I will also admit I've had some major difficulties as a business dealing with Magic, dealing with decisions that Wizards has made
Put the
that have
sour
been
taste in the mouth.
very disadvantageous for the community, around product price changes, putting those product price changes on my shoulders to communicate instead of to the community as well is really hard.
Sneaky.
Because the prices of, for example, the prices of bundles have gone up by, I want to say $30. Yeah, they've gone up to about $100 now. They were 70. They've gone up to about $100 over the course of the last 24 months. Commander decks have gone from...
That's how you tell you have a kid, because you just said 24 months instead of 2 years.
Yeah.
Like my kid's like 19 months old. You know that? That's how you know you're a dad now, because you went for 24 months. Can you believe that?
God.
For those at home, tell me in the comment section if that annoyed you.
Also, the prices of Commander decks have gone from, I think, Aether Drift, they were 65.
Yeah, it's
and
ridiculous.
now they're up to $90. And that's and we haven't changed the margin. The margin number is still the same.
Well, what is your point?
My point is that...
What are you excited for, Dylan?
What am I excited for? Oh, I mean, I still am kind of excited for TMNT. Like,
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm like, come on.
I watched the original films. I saw the Tolzar, and I can't remember his name. I played too much Warhammer today. My brain's fried. But the turtle and the wolf from Ninja Turtles 2.
I
Secret
know.
Views.
Mama? What's the
Look, if
what's the
they can
big
give me a
one?
Vanilla Ice
Yep.
in Vanilla Ice card as well.
What's the
Okay.
big guy? There's like a big turtle. His name's like Shrek or Shaq.
Oh, he's like a mutant. He's
Yeah,
like
he's a
a
big
mutant.
mutant.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they're all mutants, Dylan.
No, but
They're
I mean, like,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yeah, okay, all right.
They're all mutants,
Alright.
bro.
I
He's
meant,
not like
like-
a normal turtle. He's like,
he's like an abomination.
yeah, he's like huge,
Yeah.
but he's like cute though or something. I don't know. He has a card. He's like mono red. He looks cool.
yeah,
Shank? Nah, that's not correct. But it's like a hard hitting single syllable name.
yeah. I think Tozer's the wolf.
Yeah, but the one that's with the wolf is like a different guy
That's
again.
it. I'm gonna look this up.
You're gonna find out.
I'm gonna find out because I love like the '90s
Yeah,
era.
I never got
like,
into it.
Probably like most groundbreaking animatronic suits.
Yeah,
from a
look,
cinema level in those years.
groundbreaking for sure. Yeah, but much like Star Wars for me, couldn't get less. I didn't get into that, but the point
Look,
is,
I'm gonna.
what's it?
I
Bebop
reckon,
and Rocksteady, their card, the 3-drop 7/5, and they're a mutant. So you put them into the new. Oh, dude, this is so dystopian. But like, you put them into Genova from Final Fantasy VII, and she like says if mutants die on your own turn, you draw cards due to their power, and she puts a counter on, makes it to a mutant. So it's like go to combat, make it 8 power, crack it to greater good, draw 8 cards, discard 3 cards in Golgari, which is like just reanimated good stuff. Draw 1 billion cards, just go crazy. So yeah, there's some cool stuff.
Razor and Tokka.
Razor, that's the turtle.
Yeah, and Tokka is the wolf.
Tokka is the
Yeah.
wolf. But what's the other turtle I was thinking of? What's his name? He's cool.
I don't know. I'll look up Magic Spoiler. Anyway, yeah, look, Ninja Turtles, I'm excited for.
Cool cards.
I'm
Blatant power
I was
creep.
more excited for Lorwyn. I'm just really happy to be back there. I'm actually like low-key kind of excited about the fact that they released like a Lorwyn, a Planescape Lorwyn
Yeah, it's so
at the
cool.
end of last year onto
Yeah.
D&D Beyond.
Yeah, it's so
Really
cool.
annoying that I got to pay $15 on D&D Beyond for it, unlike every other plane shift being here's just a free PDF of D&D modules, guys. Enjoy.
What the heck? More commodification. But it's cool. Like, that's a big one for me. I think Lorwyn's fine. Like, I don't know if I'm telling everyone this, but if you don't know Jesper Icing,
Yeah.
he was the lead art director for the entire
Yes,
set.
and you could tell.
You can tell. And like, you know, his
all those
stuff,
incarnations.
Oh yeah, his stuff in the earlier sets, like, because he worked on the original Lorwyn, and that's kind of his claim to fame. And he just worked on it, and they were like, "Hey, we know you get this down pat."
You're thinking of
please."
Slash.
Slash.
Yeah, Slash. Reptile Rampages. is a
He's
card.
cool. He's cool. I forget what his card does, but it's pretty cool. Look, yeah, I don't. It's hard to say. You say you've disconnected from Magic. I really disconnected from Magic as much as I've just like I've got so many decks that I just don't want to put anything into. I'm happy now.
I'm still playing Pauper EDH. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
Every now
love
and then
Pauper
a deck comes
EDH.
around, and I'm like, oh, like I opened up my pre-release kit today for Lorwyn Eclipse and just like pulled out 8 green and black elves. I'm like, oh, that's all going in Shaman of the Pack.
Actually,
Like-
on that same point, the new Marvel superhero stuff came out. I could not care less.
No.
There was not a single card that I was like excited for. I was like, the only thing I was excited for was selling my Caltrops because I have like 20 something copies of the $3 card Caltrops. That's now like in this moment. So I've already sold like 10 of them. Feels good. Oh, but the game's not an investment, guys. Anyway, like outside of that, I couldn't care less. And then that one like uncommon Atlantean guy that's
Yeah.
like Namor's mate or something.
Yeah.
Like some dude. The 3-drop that's like Merfolk get 1/1, and if they deal combat damage to a player 1 or more, you draw a card.
I still
it's
got like
like-
a half belt. What was it, Black Waltz number 13
Yeah.
for Final Fantasy?
Yeah, that's a cool commander. I just put together all right, I've just got the cards together for supportive parents from
Yeah.
Spider-Man. I saw that card and I was like, I need to play supportive parents as my commander deck. I'm like, God, I just need that in my life. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, Mom.
I'm finding it really hard to engage with Commander overall now, like from not only from like the lack of gaming time I have, but also like I'm not really interested in building decks, major Commander decks anymore. I feel like, you know, the amount of releases we had, the amount of legendaries that come out, everything's kind of solved now.
I don't know if I agree with solved, but I do think that like
I think there's so much staples to a deck.
I think
I think also like the amount of product and the amount of unique cards coming out as well make it really hard to engage with.
I'd like to reframe this back to the question of like, what am I excited for? Well, I'm also excited to see this bracket system start to adapt even further because I think it's actually currently in the worst place it's ever been.
Yes.
I think it's currently
I mean,
really bad.
When I hear about the bracket system, it's like, okay, that's the system we were already running.
yeah,
And we've
but
kind
like
of moved to the like EDH, is it EDH universe?
essentially
Kind of
yeah.
like questions grid
yeah,
and built a kind of grid around it. I think that's kind of where the bracket system needs to go.
because I think the problem with the bracket system, I always say this, like, don't give somebody when you're like, when I was in high school, believe it or not, ENTJ, I was on the debate team. I was on a debate team in high school, and my big thing was like, or we learned that like you just don't give your opponent in the debate, it's your opponent, don't give your opposition your logic. You know, they're gonna find it. Don't worry, don't give it to them. They're gonna find it. Just give them your solution because you give them your logic, they will find the holes in it because there's always
Yeah.
holes in all logic,
Yeah.
and they will find the holes in it and they'll latch onto
They'll
that in the
exploit it.
communication and they'll exploit it. And that's what the bracket system does. It introduces a logic system that is designed explicitly to exploit. The amount of bracket 2 decks I've seen that I'm like, these decks are just obviously fundamentally incredibly synergistic and very concise and super
These sit at CDH level bracket ones.
well, I would say like the fours, like the high bracket
Yeah.
fours. I would say like you know you're in the gameplay that is very very sharp, very competitive. Maybe not like versing. You're not beating like you're not building around a meta. You're not going to beat Blue Farm, right? But you're at a very very powerful level, and you just don't play cards like Jessica's Will in the deck. And it's like they go, it's bracket 2, and then some guys come down and go, hey, we're looking to play a bracket 2 format, and my partner here has played twice, and she just wants to have like a cool casual game, and you're like, this deck's boom bracket 2. Don't worry, it's bracket 2, and it's like this problem is not as
Yeah.
large as I would like to
you just
imply it immediately.
synergistic vampires
But it's
that
like
just fuck everyone.
that just fucks everyone. And you're kind of like, well, yeah, you made a technically bracket 2 deck, and then you won at the table of Commander. Yeah, good job. And it's like I'm seeing a lot of that, and I think it's. I was gonna say it's not as big as problem as I'm making it sound because I think it's more like an online discourse problem than it is an actual sitting down and playing problem. But I also just don't like the online discourse problem because it just kind of I'm constantly bombarded online by kind of douchebags. I'm not gonna lie, because
Mhm.
constantly bombarded online by people who just like love to stir shit, and it doesn't make me enjoy the game and want to play it more. It makes me kind of go like, thank God I've got my own group of people who don't treat like the game like that. And when I meet somebody new, I'm not like this by definition, but you know, it kind of defaults me to, well, are you going to be like that? Because I've seen a lot of people online who are you like that, and it seems like they're all like that. So are you going to be like that? And I've seen some in IRL games that do translate to that. A good example was like, you know, I play games where I play like a Convoke deck at the moment. It's a Castler Convoke deck. It's pretty cute. And the new Lorwyn stuff, it's quite good. And I was telling them, I was like, hey, I'm not using brackets here. I'm just playing this deck. It's got some powerful cards in it, but I knew for a fact, I was playing with Teddy. I knew for a fact that Teddy was very new to Magic. At least like coming back to the game, I should be more accurate. Like just coming back to the game, and it's very hard to. Correct me if I'm wrong. How long ago was it? Like would have been 6-8 years. What was the last time? When did you play? Like how long ago would have been? Maybe longer.
Longer than 10.
Yeah, longer than 10. There you go.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't even recognize the game that it was compared to what it once was. So you're like, we're talking like 10 years ago, which sounds crazy, was 2016. So Return to Ravnica.
Yeah.
So that's
It was
crazy.
Ravnica.
Where Pioneer started.
When Pioneer started, where Pioneer cuts off, not when it started, but where it cuts off. I would say point is Return to Ravnica, and now it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
So I knew for a fact that I had to like reel it in. My deck plays Fierce Guardianship and Rhystic Study and Cyclonic Rift. And I drew off Jeskai Ascendancy, discarded a card, and discarded my Rhystic Study. And my opponent went like, "Whoa, you play Rhystic Study?" And I'm like, "Hey, whoa.
I'm not playing it.
I'm not playing it. It's in my graveyard." They're like, and then Michael I was playing with. I love Michael. He's so fun to play with. And he was like, "Can you reanimate that?" And I was like, "No. I may be able to, but that's not the point here. It's gone. We're not playing that type of gameplay." And then later in the game, I scryed 2 and I scryed the Fierce Guardianship and I bottomed it and I drew a card. And I was like, "We're just not playing that game."
Yeah.
Like that's what the Commander's not about that. And I didn't after the game. I mean, maybe I'm announcing it now to the world, but I didn't after that game turn to them and go, "I could have actually annihilated you."
But I
chose to take a step back, and I chose to sandbag so that you had an opportunity to win. No, I didn't do that. I just went, "Great game, guys. Great game.
Shuffle up,
let's go again." You know what I mean? Because that's not the gameplay we're doing. And the Rhystic Study was brought attention to, but then I was just like, "Hey, not the game we're playing." I wasn't saying like, "I don't need this to beat you." I was just like, "Hey, not the game we're playing." I just don't want to have to change this deck fundamentally, like in a deck building restriction, in order to play a fun game of Commander that feels fair for everyone at the table. Because I was still doing crazy stuff. You may have heard me just say the words Jeskai Ascendancy. I was doing crazy stuff. But I just felt that I was like, these cards that I knew are red flags for players, I'm just not going to engage with. Because that's what the game is about. It's about having fun and people and being considerate of others.
So I think to loop it back around to what I'm excited about, I'd say like mostly I'm excited about Fractured Realities.
Oh yeah.
I think
Reality Fracture.
I want to see where the story goes from a reset perspective. I think that I think that this is going to be a multiversal reset kind of point.
Well, it's Secret Wars, right? We know that much.
Yeah, it's Secret Wars. So I want to see what comes out of that from like a story. I'm a big story fan.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Even though like I haven't really read the stories since like OTJ because it kind of went off the rails.
I will say OTJ kind of sucked. It was not. It was a kind of
like,
annoying
all
story.
right, I'll just get the broad strokes from the Vorthos guys on YouTube.
I remember I told you a little bit about. Do you remember you asking me being like, "What happened with Vraska and Jason?" I just kind of went over it with you. I was like, "Yeah, this is what happens."
I was like, "All right, that's fine. I'll wait." So I loved the like broader concept of the multiverse and the broader like planar level threats, but when it became since War of the Spark, it became very character driven.
Yeah.
Which was probably a bit too much for me. Because I didn't like the characters. I didn't relate to them. I didn't associate with them. So it just kind of like became a thing of like, okay, cool. Well, that's fine. If it's a character that you enjoy, cool. But
your point being, Reality Fracture feels very to back to that over story.
And I'm excited to see where the in-universe set go from 2027 after that. Like I want to see what are we looking at now? Do we have to follow Kellen?
Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, Universe Beyond Jimmy Neutron. No, I don't want to have to follow Kellen through random stories again.
I'm weird to that because I'm like, I loved the Kellen stories. I loved Kellen when he was he was a detective like assistant. I liked when he was in OTJ as this kind of like
a cowboy.
I'm a good guy cowboy. I don't want to kill people.
But it was real, for me, that was real like character with a hat kind of situations.
It's OTJ. We know it's character with a hat. It's cowboys. But my point is like, I just think they needed to actually do something with that. And it just felt like that petered into nothing. And it's just like, okay, you met your dad, now what? Okay, story's over for you. And it's like, I just felt that was so lame to me. I was like, because he met that baddie goth vamp GF. He met her in Ixalan.
Yeah.
And then he was like, she's coming with me to Ravnica. And she spent a lot of time in Ravnica. And then she showed up towards the end of OTJ, but she was basically like out. They're like, push her out. She's not relevant anymore. She's an uncommon, or she was a rare maybe, but like she's like a bulk rare, 20 cent in the bin. Put it to the side. Oh, we're going to go over to this next thing. And it felt like we kind of gave up on Kellen. So I am excited to see where the story goes with Reality Fracture as well. I'm really excited to see that because I'm yet to read Lorwyn. I'm actually going to start reading that tonight. But yeah, it's I'm excited to see where that goes. I think outside of card games, I'm excited for more Malifaux 4th edition. 4th edition is really good. Feels so great. Just everything about it. Just I remember like I had a list of 5 things in 3rd edition. Every event I went to, every person I spoke to, I'm like, here's my 5 things I would change in this game. It was this, it was X, Y, Z. And all those things were the only things that changed. And I felt very vindicated because I was like, I don't feel like these things need to change because I don't personally like them. I feel like these are bad gameplay elements. These make the game feel worse to play, and it makes my decision making feel less impactful. And then they changed all those things. And I'm no talk on forums. I'm not asking people. I just caught it, I guess. So the format's really good, and I just want to see like more miniatures come out, more exciting like lore stuff come out for that game as well. And I want to see where that goes for Australian event representation because we currently don't really have any. Maybe I'm the change I want to see in the world, but we'll see where that goes. I'm very excited for more Malifaux. I'm really excited to see what happens. I'm excited for Riftbound. Spirit Forged is such a phenomenal set. It is crazy to me that Riftbound dropped their very first League of Legends card game, and set 2 has items in it. It's League of Legends. The first thing you do in the game, it's 2 seconds in and you buy Doran Shield. So why are we getting equipment in the second set? But the point is that's cool. I'm
Wait
excited.
till like set 8 when we start like trading in equipment to get other equipment.
Well, we already have
building other equipment up.
Well, you have gold and you spend gold to equip your items in the second set.
Yeah.
So like, you spend on lots of things, but you spend it to equip items. Like, we got gold and we got items and we got I love Riftbound, and I'm really excited for set 2. And set 2 looks like it's, set 2 in Star Wars was it was Smuggle. And it was cool. Like, it was great. Shadows of the Galaxy. Such a cool set. Loved it. It felt like, and Lorcana, set 2 Lorcana, these felt like natural progressions of the game's intrinsic design and gave us new metas and some fun mechanics to play with. No. Spirit Forged is Riftbound. Spirit Forged Origins is beta Riftbound.
Yeah.
Spirit Forged is Riftbound. That's my opinion. I think Spirit Forged is where Riftbound wants to be. It's where it's going to be. Like, everything upends.
I feel like with
Spirit
the
Forged.
amount of characters they have access to in League of Legends and the amount of like intricacies of play they've had through the life of League of Legends, means that like there's a lot of like fertile ground to build upon with Riftbound.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like every set is kind of going to be a new game.
Yeah.
As opposed to like Magic being expansions upon previous mechanics and previous sets and moving it on. And that's more of a symptom of being a 30-year-old game.
I feel we'll get a bit of a beveling out to an extent. I don't think we're going to see like such fundamental overhaul in set 3. And I could be proven wrong, you could be proven right. But I do think that like, I think set 2 is quintessential. That's why I don't believe it's going to be so different in set 3. But I think we are, like you said,
they're going to start taking a few chances.
I think they could take more liberties with it. And I think Legends of Runeterra and all the stories they brought out and all the seasons they've done with the Demacians and such, and all the shows like Arcane and such, they've got such a rich like world building device available to them that they could just pull from. And I touched really early in this podcast, I did say like I'm not necessarily a direct fan of like I recognize that thing, but hey, all rules with the exception. Riftbound's different. I love it. I don't care. Actually, that's different. I don't know why, but it just hits me different. I played it when I was a kid. League of Legends, like I played it for like 10 years, like pretty consistently.
I just picked it up.
Yeah, I've been slow on it recently this season, especially, and only mostly because my computer's just carked it, unfortunately. So my partner can play it, but I cannot. And I keep pretending like I don't like it that much anymore, but in reality, need a new computer. But 2XKO just came to console, or at least it does on the 22nd of this month or something. Timestamping this video. But that'll be playing a bit of on PlayStation because I can't play it on PC. But I digress. Very excited for that. So Riftbound, big. Malifaux's really big. I'm excited for. It's not really like hobby games, but I'm really excited for the new Dawn of War game coming out. Really excited for Dawn of War 4.
I'm really excited for Total War.
Warhammer 40K. These
I'm
are
a Total
awesome.
War grand strategy like guy. Like,
and I'm an RTS StarCraft guy. So yeah, we're both.
My body is so ready for Total
It's so exciting. So that's really cool. Finally, some real fucking food. Like Warhammer games have been so bad for so many years, and all of a sudden we get Space Marine 2, we get Dawn of War 4 looks great. Total Warhammer 40K is
Total War Warhammer 40,002, where they finally add Tyranids.
Yeah. They will find some faction that's like that's fan loved, and they'll avoid it like the plague. For Total War, they'll avoid it like the plague, and then they'll come for number 2, and it'll be a release faction. They'll be like, "Hey guys, we heard you. We've put them in the game," and you're like, "Yeah, cool, all right, dude."
Yeah. Total War Warhammer 40,003 is when they just do all the Chaos Gods. And be like, have fun, guys.
I was going to say
Warhammer Fantasy.
Well, I was going to say, it's almost like, because it just came out in Total Warhammer 3, like Fantasy, it'd be really easy to onboard those sculpts and models and such, like from one game to the other. It's probably the same. Same
engine.
So they'll probably they could easily just be like,
Yeah,
yeah, bloodthirsters, we've got them.
Here's
Here they
all the
are.
demons.
Yeah. It'd be so easy for them to do, and they could just ask for money again for the same thing.
And you've already done Heretic Astartes, so you've got half the stuff for like Emperor's Children and all that.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
All right, we're coming up on 2 hours, guys. Do you want serious ones or silly ones?
Hey, surprise us.
All right, the next question is anonymous. Why do you love the Gundam trading card game so much, and when are we stocking it?
When are we stocking it? Gee, I wonder who asked that question.
No idea.
I
know.
haven't played it. I
I still haven't showed you
Yeah, I
how
haven't
to
shown
play
you how
it.
to play it yet.
Oh,
I did. We
okay.
didn't talk about this. I should play it. It looks really
the
good.
amount of times. Okay, yeah. Look,
I know somebody loves the Gundam card game, and it's very good. I've heard only good things. I
I've heard
can't
good things
invest in
about it
another
too.
card game.
I've heard good things about it too. I'm still waiting to see where we go with Star Wars Unlimited, because the problem I have at the moment is a lot of the people that are talking to me about Gundam are also our Star Wars Unlimited community. And I'm afraid that if we bring in Gundam, we're going to pretty much cannibalize our Star Wars Unlimited
We
community.
kill one to grow the other, which is
And-
also my problem personally, which is that I can't play Gundam because I have to kill one to play the other.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not playing Star Wars at all anymore. Like, I've totally packed up all my stuff. I've actually sold off most of my collection to a buyer. And I just went, you know what? I'm not playing Star Wars. I can't commit to this game any further, and I want to play Riftbound.
There's
And-
also like a major stock issue at the moment with a lot of the Bandai games. And they have exclusive dealing through a supplier that may cause some issues when it comes to stock levels. So I think that at the moment I'm interested. I would love to run Gundam. I need to take the time to understand the places, the OP systems that allow us to get the most, the best allocations we can get for the product before I commit to it wholeheartedly. And also, I want to see what happens with rotation on Star Wars Unlimited.
Yeah.
Before I commit to it as well. But outside of that, like possibly, but
I was painting Malifaux today. Well, crazy. And I was watching a video of somebody actually unboxing and like building and painting Gundam, like the new miniatures game that's dropped for Gundam, and that looks really good. I was surprised. Those models are big.
Yep.
I didn't know how big they were. They're big. Yeah.
They're like God tier level. Yeah.
They're bigger.
They're bigger than
They're a
God
little
tier.
big. They feel a little bit bigger than God tier from what I could see. Now they're obviously watching a video, so maybe these guys had tiny hands, little tiny hands, man. But like they looked big models. Like as in like they're all the size of God tier like leaders. is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So big models. I was really surprised by the quality of them, and they looked great. Well, I'm not surprised by the quality. It's Gundam. It's Gunpla. But I was really surprised by the scale, and I was like, whoa, because BattleTech for me, just too small scale. It's just a little bit too small, and the models themselves are just a little bit too crap, and the designs are a little bit too.
They're real.
Boring.
They're real 90s.
They're
They're real
real
90s
90s.
Mech Warrior.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it can live there. It can die there. It's like if you ever met a 90-year-old man and you're like, your body looks like it's giving up. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Like, I love you, granddad, but your body
Christ.
looks like it's giving up. That game looks like it's giving up, bro. I'm sorry. And they bring out new sculpts. They still look like that. And I'm like, oh, anyway. And I'm not like,
Just take some Lancer art, guys,
Yeah,
seriously, and turn it into 3D models.
oh, if they really, there's like, if Lancer gets miniatures, bro. Oh my God. Oh, I love Lancer. Hey, play Lancer.
All right, let's move on to the next question. We got to get through them.
Next question is, in tabletop gaming, what has been your favorite terrain piece and why?
Whoa.
That's odd as hell.
My favorite terrain piece has been Age of Sigmar 4th edition concealing bubble, like concealing woods. It's not like a lot of games where it's like, you can't see me at all. I'm invisible forever. But like halving the ranges of shooting and lowering your movement in it. I don't know, just like the where they put them on certain missions feels so impactful and very well thought out.
Mhm.
I think in a mechanical standpoint, that's my favorite. And then as a thematic standpoint, like, maybe to paint or to play, probably the Flesh Eater Court's Charnel Throne. Shit rocks.
I don't know. I do like some of the Lumineth terrain that came out.
Oh.
Like the floating fountains. Dope.
There was Eons of Battle. Jay from Eons of Battle actually released a recent set of terrain. Check out Eons of Battle terrain, by the way. It's so good. Sponsor us. But so good,
Please.
so good. They're really good. He released one recently, which was that team. They made like Necron, like walls and like edges of walls and like these just little like round plinths kind of, and they're meant to be like broken display cabinets from Trajan's like lair.
Yep.
And at the end of each of the columns, where like the columns are at the end of each of the like gantries, essentially, it's like a big Trajan face. like this big Necron single-eyed face.
Yeah.
Well, Trazen has 2 eyes, but these ones like they're Cryptek kind of vibes. They just look great. And
I'll say the 2 more terrain set for kill team
yeah.
also looks dope.
with the I love the little like arcing electrical like barriers,
Yeah.
like the doors you could pop off. They're great. I think Games Workshop will finally learn in their 3rd set, I think, where like boarding action was too rigid and it's very hard. You have to shave all the pieces of it. Just like clicks together so tough, and you're trying to rip pieces apart just to get the board set apart. And then Tumult has the opposite problem where it's like it's also loosey goosey, and it just kind of falls over and nothing connects properly.
And all the walls.
It all like and all the walls and doors pop and stuff. So you're like, next time they do it, they'll do like a Tyranid or like maybe a mining world or like a big Tyranid tunnel, and they'll get it right. The 3rd one, they'll get there. They'll be like, this is the one where it all fits.
We
properly.
got it, guys.
We finally worked out the formula. So it feels like they're just kind of overcorrected, but they're still great terrain.
Yeah.
That's still great terrain.
Alrighty. What is the next one, Teddy?
The next one is a very big question. Do you plan to open any more stores?
No. I'm lying.
Never.
I'm joking. So quick.
Bro's the manager. Yeah, I have no say in this. No.
No. Yeah, I'm not in charge of that.
Yes. I want to open more stores. I have 2 locations already scouted of potential regions to open up in.
We can't tell you too much, by the way.
Can't tell you too much. There's also a couple of like secondary and tertiary areas that we would look at.
We're doing franchising.
Okay, all right. All right, you don't know shit.
I'm lying. I'm just lying. I'm just staring. Yeah, I have no idea. This is really not a big question.
Yes, the goal is to open more stores. The big issue we have is really just one, we're retail. So the general retail industry is going through a lot of problems at the moment, despite the fact that our numbers are like bucking the trend. You know, we're growing at a level that is above like the national standard for retail stores. Also, you know, there's added aspects that are like the owners all happen to be born after 1987 and don't exactly have property because of how Australia has set up its property systems. So access to like how we are able to fund the business is a bit different than what we would normally be able to get access to grow. So those are both aspects that are like really hindering where I would like us to be. But in saying that, you know, that just means the road's harder and we learn a lot more lessons along the way. And yeah, I want to grow. We will have more stores. Unless I get hit by a bus.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Let's hope
it'll be really hard on the business.
Let's hope a truck full of e-scooter batteries doesn't slam into you. All right. Let's do one more. One more question. Make it a good one. Make it an hour-long one.
Or do a really funny one. And
yeah, or you know what? Surprise us.
I'll ask a question from not me.
Good.
Anonymous asks, heard the news that Disney Lorcana is pulling away from local game stores around the world. Is Lorcana going anywhere from Vault?
I don't know what news you're talking about. I think a lot of stores possibly will be pulling away from Lorcana because they see the money in like One Piece or some of the other Bandai games. I think that's insane. At the moment, Lorcana isn't going anywhere.
Going great. Also, I'd like to add that Cassie, one of the store owners here, is incredibly passionate about Lorcana in every level, from the Infinity format to the standard competitive format, to all the different like unique designs that we have for it. We have a whole unique like what do you not bounty board? What's the term for it? Like we have
it's like an achievement sheet,
play program.
A player program.
We have our own like
it's like a
fully
passport,
comprehensive like passport. It's a fully comprehensive play program where you get stickers and stuff like that. It's absolutely phenomenal.
All sorted by Tim over at the Clayfield store.
He's done a phenomenal work. Yeah, shout out to Tim. What a phenomenal man.
Our numbers are great.
Yeah,
our numbers go up, and I think Clayfield's actually nearly booking out, particularly earlier in the season. Every card game has the early season boom and the late season kind of like slowdown period. But you know, we're selling at pre-releases. We're running decently sized store championships,
and it's possible that we're behind on some kind of info that you might have, in the sense of like there might be support reducing for like their play promos or whatever. Like it might be like their competitive tournaments are going down, but again, we don't have evidence to support that. We haven't seen that's the same rumors you have. If you ever have any like information like that you'd like to share with us, you're more than welcome to.
Please let us know.
It might be comment. Hey, it might, put it down that below, like send us links, that kind of stuff. Talk to us. We'd love to hear about it. Just in case it's because that might be more speculation than it is like truth. But if it is truth, we'd love to know about it, obviously, because I'll tell you something. Ravensburger has not told us a thing. So, it has, especially in Australia, Lorcana's had a bit of a strange history. But I'll say that it seems to be doing better than ever, and I'm not understanding that question necessarily. Let's try one more. I'm gonna do one more.
Yeah.
That question was okay. Let's try something funnier.
Something funnier.
No, I don't care. I'm just kidding. Sorry. No. No.
Something funnier. What song would your favorite commanders play on repeat?
Dude, all of my favorite commanders are going to play I'm Blue by Eiffel 65. All of my favorite commanders are going to play that.
They're all blue.
They're all blue. Unesh, Charismatic Sovereign.
I don't have the deck anymore, but I always thought that Slimefoot the Stowaway would play like I Like to Move It, and all his little like spore saproling,
little Maurices.
Yeah, little Maurices, little saproling and fungi would just be like dancing on the weatherlight with him while he's doing it.
That's good.
Shaking their little fungus booties.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. I think that's my answer.
Yeah.
I was thinking like my Lauren deck. I have this like mono white deck that's like a real like Mean Girl style of deck. Like it's a real like it's real like get on your side, have a lot of fun, and then just like I'm bored of this now, combo out win kind of deck.
Yeah.
I don't know what song that would play.
Barracuda by heart.
I was thinking that's kind of where I'm at. Yeah.
Ooh,
Barracuda. Yeah, I think that's kind of good. That's really good. Yeah. All right.
I think there's one more that I really want to answer from the questions I looked about, like Rule Zero. What's that question?
No, I'm looking up Barracuda by heart.
Okay.
Song rocks.
We can't play it.
Yeah.
We'll get demonetized.
We can't play that. I mean, we're not monetized anyway for reference, but we'll get flagged. We'll get low traffic.
Okay, here it is.
We get copyright struck.
What are the essentials to discuss in a Rule Zero? Have they changed for you over the years?
So I'll open this one with a dialogue just basically, and I'll let you kick off. But I'll start with I touched on this earlier actually, where I said like the Rule Zero has been for me. The only thing I feel like has majorly changed is I talk about the brackets to begin with and just kind of like destroy it. I just demolish it in the conversation. I say like, hey, I just don't want to discuss brackets. Can we just discuss this? And then I'll go into it. So how do you go? What has changed for you? What do you think?
Well, for those that don't know, Rule Zero, by the way, is like the discussion you have at the start of a game of Commander with your table, kind of figure out like what everyone's feeling out, what everyone wants to play, what everyone has available to them. I know for me, has it changed? My Rule Zero discussion nowadays is usually like, hey, what kind of games are we looking to play today? How much? The question I ask a lot of time is like, how much do you interact with your opponent with decks? Because that also dictates like if you have a table where a lot of people think like they carry a lot of interaction, then I feel comfortable playing my Saheeli deck, which is blue-red, has a lot more counterspell, a lot more kind of stuff. If everyone's like looking at playing kind of a race game, then like I might look at like a racy like to the finish line kind of game. I might look at playing Bilbo a bit more.
Yeah.
If people want to see, if they're just here to have fun and see wild combos, I'll probably still play Bilbo. I think that's a hilarious deck. When people see the 111 life go off, they're like, wow.
Yeah.
And it'll come out of nowhere. Or the fun situation of having Aetherflux Reservoir and just having a gun pointed at everyone at the table, and the whole game turns into a Mexican standoff that everyone just like starts having fun with. It's a lot of fun. So you got to kind of figure out what kind of games. Have it changed over the years? Yes, a lot of my Rule Zero discussions with my Turgid deck was usually please let me play Turgid, please, I'll be good, I swear, I'll go to please. And that never worked. So Turgid got pulled apart.
I will say actually, on the same note of like, kind of like, I guess, on the context of Turgid being such a strange like power level where it's like I feel like that deck sucks dick. It's just so bad. I've never versed a Turgid deck where I'm like, you're an actual threat at the table. It's just a deck that like nobody likes to interact with. It just feels like it's the question of like, I don't like engaging with this. Why do you like engaging with this?
Yeah.
Like, are you just evil? Like, what's happening? But for me, I think that another thing that's changed me is like there's been a huge amount of injection of pre-con commander.
Mm-hmm.
huge injection. I feel like I know so many people who buy a precon, sleeve it up, and just want to play that. And they don't want to build a deck. And I've been playing since Elder Dragon Highlander, where, you know, we didn't have those. And every single deck was built from scratch. Every single commander was built from scratch, you know. Even when it was like 2013, 2014, and those decks started coming out, like the Azuri Claw Progress decks and the Mael decks, and the Derevi was first like printed, and Kalia the Vast. And, you know, we had cards like, I'm trying to remember the name of the card, but it's like a Hydra that like when it hits your opponent, hits each opponent. And it's like an 8/8 for 6. And it's like, you know, Hydra Omnivore.
Yep.
So yeah, Hydra Omnivore was printed. Yeah, there were cards for Commander, but most of the cards were kind of slow and bad, even for a 6-mana 8/8 that hit everyone. Kind of slow and bad. You know, people were still making their own stuff. So for me, it was such an alien idea that people would want to play just precons. Like, I don't think that's wrong, nor do I think that that's bad or stupid or anything like that. Like, those aren't the words I want to use. I just never understood it personally. I couldn't empathize with that kind of player because I'm like, but why do you like Commander? Like, this game kind of blows. Like, this game's a constructed game. This game low-key kind of sucks, but we like it because we get to express ourselves. We like it because we get to, like, create this cool thing that we get to kind of have a Rube Goldberg machine. Like, you know, the opening to I Spy, where you see the Rube Goldberg machine, and it's like you get to watch somebody set everything up and go, bing, and like goes down, and, you know, it's like dominoes. The joy, it's like a card house. It's like the joy is not just in what happens when you pull the piece off. The joy comes in all of the building of it and thinking about the cool ways that you can make this as interesting as possible when you pull that pin out. And like fireworks, it's actually a lot like fireworks too, and in a really interesting way, where you set up a little box of them and you put them in a certain pedigree and a certain design and in an order, and then when they go off, and you're like, you know, I want them to be in this specific way, and you'll change that up. So for me, that was like Commander was like fireworks. And why do I? But then here's the thing. It's like, I would think to myself, why would I care about the fireworks going off when I didn't set up the fireworks? And it's like, well, Trent, you've been to fireworks shows.
Yeah.
And I don't, we live in Australia. I don't have access to fireworks. I've never put together fireworks, but I still enjoy fireworks when they go off.
Yeah.
And this is the thing where I thought about, where I was like, and a lot of these decks, you know, the Lorwyn Blight deck, I think it's the Blight deck. It's the Lorwyn Blight deck, and it's also like the Titus deck, or Titus, sorry, everyone at home, from the Final Fantasy decks, that have these infinite combos in them. And they can come out early, but they're mostly just the fact that they're in the deck in the first place. It's like this explosive, fun, silly thing. And maybe it was an oversight by Wizards, but who cares? You know, I realized as more and more of these decks came out, more and more injection, there was like an actual real thought process designed, like put into this design of a format that is pre-constructed Commander. So one of my Rule Zero things that have changed has become like, do you guys just are we playing with precons?
Yeah.
Because I never asked that question. Never in my life would I ask that question. I was doing Rule Zero before people talked about Rule Zero. Back when Rule Zero wasn't a conversation, it was at the top of the Commander website. Sorry, Robert Hudson. It was at the top of the Commander website. Like, it wasn't something that you said, let's have a Rule Zero conversation. It was just a thing that people just opened in dialogue because it's just something you had to do. And the Rule Zero was just the rules of Magic are there as a guideline, and all these rules for Commander are there as a guideline. Play with 30 life for 4k, play with 60 command damage, play with only commons, call a Pauper EDH, do whatever you want. Play with a Planeswalker Commander. We don't care as long as everyone at the table agrees and has fun. And that's where the conversation comes from. Well, you know, again, it was so long ago that it was never precons. And now I kind of have to ask. I find that I have to ask at a lot of tables I go to, like, does anyone have just a precon? So I can be like, okay, I have a deck that's at precon level, I personally believe. Or more accurately nowadays, I have a precon. Like, I've got one of the I had like the Chaos Space Marines one, like from the 40k decks, and those decks are quite fundamentally powerful. I feel like the Chaos one's like the worst one that does the silliest stuff, but it also kind of sucks ass. But I do like it, it's very silly. So I'll like pull that out and I'll play that against people because I'm like, this is at precon level and we're playing precons. So I'm never just going to trump you with cards that feel too powerful. Or cards you're not going to understand necessarily. That's another thing too. I don't think precons solve the issue of cards you don't know, because there's so many cards in precons that are not standardized. A lot of new cards in precons, and also just, you know, not every single precon has like an Avenger Zendikar. They might all have an Arcane Signet and a Soul Ring, but they're not very standardized. So you will still hit cards you don't understand. However, it does make for an experience that's quite interesting for me. And I've come around on precon Commander quite a bit in the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, well, they've gotten better.
Better designed. And I do think that comes back to the Rule Zero discussion of like, are we playing with these? Because I'm down to. I don't want people to feel like they can't do that. Yeah. And then sometimes people say like, I'll play a precon, but I don't play whatever you want. And that's another thing about Rule Zero. I play a lot of people I've met who just kind of, whether or not this is objectively true, maybe it's a fawn response, but a lot of people will say things like, play whatever you want, I don't care. Now, the Rule Zero concept is something like, I don't care. Play whatever you want. I'm playing this precon or I'm playing this deck. I don't really want to engage with that. I'll do whatever I want. So I've noticed that a little bit as well, where this is why I don't like the bracket system. Because the bracket system, I think a lot of people are rejecting because they've seen so much exploitation of it, both online and in person.
Yeah.
And they're rejecting it. So I've seen a lot of that Rule Zero be like, I'll say, let's not talk about the bracket system. Some people say, let's not talk about the Rule Zero. Let's just play Magic. And then, that's important to discuss too. But
Okay, next question. Can y'all talk about what the past few years have meant for inclusiveness in gaming and at Vault, i.e. D&D's combat wheelchair, the representation we've seen in MTG, strides Vault has made to only carry products that align with our ethics?
That's a good question.
Um,
I think it's a hard question to combat sometimes,
Mhm.
In the sense that it's like, I feel it's hard. I feel like it's a hard position that I'm in to respond to that because I feel I don't want to sound like I'm virtue signaling, but I also understand that I don't really empathize necessarily
with a lot of those.
with a lot of those kind of issues. I think that it's obviously great that we have I loved that Tasha's Cauldron of Everything came with blind fighting rules for every class.
Mhm.
It came with the wheelchair accessible characters. I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. I think it's one of the most recent things that's just come about. I think is absolutely incredible is female custodies.
Mhm.
They released the new custodies pack, and the captain, the guy that's in charge of everything, is not a guy. It's not a girl. We don't talk about that. But the point is that it's a female presenting person as this captain. And there's, as far as we know, as far as Horus Heresy is concerned, we don't know if there's a male sculpt for that yet. We don't have any evidence to support that. Currently, they did not beat around the bush. They did not say, they didn't even promote it as a female custodies. They just said, this is the battle box, and this is the captain, and she leads your army. And Games Workshop, it's a long history of redactions and errata and change and retcons and stuff like that.
And even with representations as well, like, every new edition, the first thing I would do was look at how many white men are in the rule book.
It's fun. We do.
Yeah.
That's a big fun game.
And
fun game.
we probably don't need to do that fun game now because the last two editions of both games have been really strong representative.
We didn't do it for 4th edition for Age of Sigmar. We did it with third, but not with fourth.
Yeah.
And that was really good. And I think that's great. I think that was a big step. People may not know this, but in Rogue Trader, they just straight up were female Space Marines.
Yep.
That was a retcon to only male. So the idea of retconning custodies to female, and let's not discuss this further in the sense of like, some people like to say that there were always female custodies. This isn't true. It is a retcon. It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's an absolutely perfect one. I think it's perfectly manageable. I don't have a problem. I think that's a great step. I think some people will talk about things like, but you got Sisters of Silence, you got Sisters of Battle. Why can't we have the Brothers of Battle? Now there's like female custodians. It's like these are false equivalencies.
Yeah.
And it's just not really fair, and it demeans and just horrible kind of discussion points and just not helpful for the community. Anything that makes people feel more welcomed in a community is always good. So what's the problem?
Yeah. Well, even like from a Vault perspective, right? Vault started. It'll be 12 years now. In 2014, the end of 2014, we started as our from the day we started, our mission statement has always been where everyone's a gamer.
Everyone.
And so inclusivity and focus was a really important focus on marginalized communities in the gaming spaces was really important to us. We have always been at least 50% owned by women here at Vault. Where for most of its life, it has been majority owned, majority women owned.
2/3.
It was, there was 3 when we started off, and there's 2 women and me now. So there has always been a stronger female presence, female presenting presence at the ownership level, and that has translated to the decisions we make. And the decisions we make as a company as well have always been that forward thinking, right? There are places when we were looking at opening Clayfield, there were places we just flat out ignored because they didn't have wheelchair access. They were upstairs.
Yep.
They didn't have the ability for us to control the bathrooms in a way that worked for our community. All these kind of elements that were really important to people that don't look like Trent and myself.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that it is becoming the standard. The standard of representation in Dungeons and Dragons, the standard of representation in Pathfinder, and nearly every RPG now. I'm really, really excited to see G-Dub and Warhammer now embracing that even further. Because I mean, the Chaos Dwarfs, like a fair chunk of them are female presenting.
They did the same
miniatures.
thing with Fire Slayers in Warcry when they introduced new Fire Slayers. A lot of them are
Yep.
female presenting. But even gender politics aside, like I think you touched on the whole wheelchair accessibility was super important for us, and not just from like any kind of business standpoint, but just from like a humanitarian standpoint as well. And I think it's like other stuff like this year we've got a new for some spoilers for those community members, we're actually introducing some noise cancelling or noise suppressing foam.
Yeah.
Because we understand that there is a noise problem at Vault Games Brisbane. It's a very small store. It reverberates quite a lot with noise, and those that have sensitivity to sound are having problems.
Yeah,
They
we're
have
trying
had-
to dampen that.
and we're
now
trying to
in
dampen
Brisbane.
that now. We're doing our best to support that too.
We definitely had to do it at Clayfield, and so we're taking that opportunity to also roll that out to Brisbane as well.
Absolutely.
And it'll likely see that kind of design is then rolled out to future stores as well. Everything's a lesson that we can fold into the business and learn better and do better.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see stores pop up now too that are following the same principles. I actually run an industry Facebook group for board game stores in Australia and New Zealand, and I am so happy that it's so amazing to see how many strong businesswomen are now opening stores and running stores as well.
Absolutely.
It's not just a boys' club anymore. I'm so happy that we're moving out of the dirty, dank basement. There are still stores that exist like that. That's fine. That's
the nature of the beast.
it's the nature of the beast. But being able to present that kind of like welcoming atmosphere to all kinds of community, and putting that hard line stance against what's the term?
Like bigotry
Bigotry and divisiveness.
Yeah.
Exclusivity. That hard stance about excluding people.
Another thing to add to that is also when we talk about
Intolerance. Sorry, that's what I was.
intolerance. Is
Yeah.
perfect. No tolerance. I think another point is when I we talked about this earlier. We talked about engaging with toxic behavior, and there's also a level of there's a level of a type of customer that you need to be more patient with
Mhm.
as well. And it's really important to us that those types of customers feel safe and welcome at our store as well. We talk about not being derogatory, using any derogatory behavior, but that's also, those signs aren't necessarily as clearly obvious.
Mhm.
It's when somebody is female presenting, that they're female presenting. When somebody's in a wheelchair, what they need to be, what kind of access they need. But when it's not as visible, those disabilities aren't nearly as visible. You still need to be very aware of those things. And as a store, we've always strived to maintain that we're willing to, I guess,
Engage.
accommodate.
Yeah,
Accommodate and engage. And that's super important to us. So, and that will continue to be really, really important to us.
Actually, one of the really, really great things is in 2025, we probably had our largest kind of turnover of both staff and customers. Look, it's not necessarily a bad thing. People change over time, and I think the biggest turnover from a customer level came about because a lot of we've been doing this for 10 years. We've had a store open for nearly 10 years now. People age out of the hobby. It just happens. People will age out. Or people will, age in. People's financial situations may change. These kind of things happen. And a lot of times I kind of see that it's these kind of big customer changeover happens because the older customer base, when I say older, I mean they've been around longer, not necessarily age. But the more long-term customer base have been hanging on as long as they can to stay involved in the community, and they've just reached that point where they can't anymore. So it kind of rubber bands back. But at that point, there's a big influx of people coming in now because events aren't selling out anymore. So there's space for the newcomers to come in. And then our staff, we had a big staff changeover because a lot of people stay working here for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've had a big changeover on the staff level that the end of last year, we actually had to put a post out, reminding people of the barriers we set between our team members and customers in terms of like engaging when our team members are off the clock, engaging with them in social media, all this kind of stuff that kind of like, hey, just keep this in mind. And the most amazing thing I found that came out of that wasn't just necessarily about, the customer saying congratulations on setting those boundaries, the team members' response being like, thank you for posting that. Because it kind of was, some of the newer team members didn't know how to handle that kind of situation, particularly when it came to like what are called parasocial relationships, where everyone knows us, but we don't. I'm sorry, but there is no way for us to know everyone. Just the sheer number of people that come through the store. We do our best.
Speak for yourself, bro. I'm different. I know
Okay.
everyone. Eidetic memory, bro. I know everyone.
But the other store owners like reaching out to me and going, where can I find this? I really want to set this up with my team and my customer base and all that as well. So to still manage being, 10 years deep in this and having our, like, I guess our community forward kind of focus, but still also able to set those like psychological and emotional boundaries and those communication boundaries that make sure everyone feels safe and still connected with the community. It feels great knowing that after 10 years we're still able to, I guess, kind of set a standard that other stores want to follow. Because I've always said, we've been doing this for almost 12 years now. If we collapse tomorrow, as unfortunate it would be, if the result is that tabletop hobby stores increase their quality of communication with their staff and their more welcoming attitudes across the board because we set a standard for them to follow, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Like, because, Vault started because I didn't like how I was treated at a store. And I'm a cis white man. Like, holy shit, imagine like my wife going into pick up games and stuff and how she felt going into these spaces alone without me. I don't understand how that I don't even think that was comfortable for her at any point either. So yeah, if Vault started because I didn't like the standard, and if the standard changes, awesome.
Yeah.
That was touching.
Right.
I'm crying.
Oh, Teddy's crying.
Yeah, that was very touching. I liked it. Good job.
No worries. I do my best. We do our best.
I think it's like I'd open with just to bookend it. It's like it is very hard to cover this perspective. I guess isn't it kind of ironic? It's kind of hypocritical for me to say it's so difficult actually for me to do this.
Yeah.
I just mean to say
as
like
a cis white man.
yeah. I just mean to say that it's like it's always on the forefront of our minds. It's something that's really really important to us, and it's part of our as a plan for a whole business, just as a philosophy.
Yeah.
That everyone is a gamer. It means absolutely everyone.
Yeah, except those that are intolerant of people.
Except those that prove otherwise, I guess. All rules with exception.
And I guess that also flows to the product. It's the reason why we don't carry AK interactive stuff. Like, I know like people say like it's virtual signaling, but the reality is that we don't want to provide.
Correct.
We don't want to provide a monetary payment to people that are not matching that ethos, because we don't want. I personally don't want them in the industry anymore.
Correct. And I think for those who would call that virtue signaling, it's like, I'm sure that complaint is valid, and I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who might utilize that as an opportunity to make themselves look better, but it just isn't true for us. The product itself is affordable and it's good, but that's not what we're about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think we have time for one more.
Yeah, we have time for one more.
Let's get that last question out, Teddy.
Get it together.
Pull yourself together.
Yeah.
Pull yourself together, Teddy.
I'm sorry. I just love this company so much.
Okay.
This last question comes from somebody named Teddy. I don't know who that is.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
What hobbying topic could you filibuster about for the longest?
Two guys on a podcast filibustering. What hobbying?
Let me tell you about filibuster counters in Magic the Gathering.
There's a discussion that I've always wanted to talk about on the podcast, actually, but it's so hard because I do feel like it's like a 6-hour discussion.
Yeah.
And it is how it is
You
really
have 3 minutes. Go.
I know. I would love to have a breakdown of how Commander has completely altered Magic Gathering in ways that are irreparable and unimaginable.
From like a format design, play design.
Yeah, but also from a philosophy standpoint. And more importantly, how learning these intricacies of Commander fundamentally and comprehensively can help you in so many elements
Yeah.
of every other hobby and your own life. I am blown away. And just as the easiest way to put this, like if I said put in 3 minutes, I would say Commander can sometimes feel like it's a game about not being competitive, but being considerate, which is the word that you would never have used about a Magic deck in your life. You would never think to yourself, does this consider my opponent's feelings? Is this a considerate thing to do? Is this next play considerate? Should I do this thing at a moral or ethical level? It's like outside of cheating, clearly, I'm saying within the confines of the game's format, these aren't questions you ask, but they should be.
It's what we talked about with Turgid.
Yeah.
That's why Turgid's apart.
Exactly.
It's why I pulled apart Grand Arbiter Augustine. Like, we had that chat, and I'm like, all right, cool. It's either play something that's a bit more interactive with the Jeskai advisor.
Yep.
From, I think it was Brothers War. I think
Yeah,
it was.
the Archimandrite.
Yeah. Or win faster so people can play more games. So I've gone down the mono blue Bruvac route, and I'm still, I haven't sat down and gone through like the rest of the cards I need for it, but it really is just like,
it's like know what pod you're going into.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing as well. What I mean to say about that is like, these are all relevant points. And I want to say that let's take that concept and let's talk about playing a game of Warhammer.
Yeah.
Consider it. Let's talk about playing a game of Catan. Let's talk about playing let's talk about going to your friend's house to meet his new partner.
Yeah.
Let's talk about like a job interview.
How consideration.
How it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy the lessons that playing Commander, if you really comprehensively break it down, don't look at it from a first layer thing. Really comprehensively break it down. Meet people in the community. And I don't mean just people, like, I don't mean just like a guy who's played before. I mean like meet those who are engaging heavily. Talk to staff who have run events for years. Talk to people who have been playing at the same store for years. Watch content online and listen to podcasts and watch the way these people interact with each other.
Talk to people learning the game for the first time.
Yeah, get every element you can. Like really, really.
So
break it down.
It's almost like talking about how the things you think about from a social communication level that you learn through Magic the Gathering can be applied to everything else in life.
Everything else in life. And vice versa to an extent. But I think Commander like teaches you these things at like a mechanical level. Like they teach you at like a
Sorry. I just instantly thought of like the book title is like Conflict in You, like how to be the Boros War Master in your life.
Yeah, it's like kind of Sun Tzu's Art of War kind of thing, where it's like, you know, attack opponent when surprised.
Declare the blockers in your life. You
know
what I mean? Like,
exactly. It's like mass land destruction at your brother's funeral. It's like, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like, for me, it's like, I think that's a really comprehensive discussion. I think that's
a great discussion.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be gleaned.
You should reach out to John.
I should, yeah. Well, that's kind of like when John interviewed me for his book.
Yeah,
this is a lot of what we spoke about.
Speaking of which, that book's now going to publish.
I was going to say, yeah, I can't wait to read it myself. I'll probably get a copy physically myself because I really want to read through it. But for me, it was we had a 3-hour discussion, him and I, and it wasn't just about that. It was about a lot of stuff. And he was telling me how he's like, he had most of his conversations for about 45 minutes. Him and I sat down for 3 hours and went through all these things, everything.
I've read the draft. He brings up consideration, your discussion about consideration.
Yeah, it's so important. And it's just, so like, you know, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! For 16 years competitively, and I learned very few lessons. Like I learned, you know, there were some, but like I truly, when I look at like what Commander has taught me as a human being and where my life has gone and what directions I've gone in as an adult and the kind of person I've been kind of warped into, I think. Edge of Eternity's referenced. As a player, you know, and as a person, I think are very congruent. I think as a player and as a person, I'm very, very congruent. I think that, I don't know. That would be my discussion. What about you, Dylan? What could you filibuster about for ages?
Oh.
Because, I think another thing that's important too is like a filibuster is like kind of like you're on that 1 minute of Among Us where you know you've killed somebody, they've caught you, and you just
Yeah.
have to keep talking.
Yeah.
So the thing is like, what?
After playing Among Us with you, Trent,
Yeah,
you're very good at.
Yeah. Well, I do talk. I'm a yapper.
This man's a certified yapper.
I'm a certified
over here.
yapper. But my point is like, I think it's a good point. Just I want to make it clear, like, when I talk about this commander consideration thing, it's like, ironically, because I'm the only one talking, but I could just go.
Yeah. Dylan brings up like a graph of how much Trent talks in the podcast versus him.
Yeah.
In terms of filibustering, even just something that I can talk like at a really long length. The first one is obviously business. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I want to start the podcast. So I want to talk about the business. I want to talk about the hobby. I want to talk about community. The whole business side of thing. I am much to the annoyance of my wife. I am quite open with how the business runs and what things to consider when it comes to operating a business like this. So, you know, I mean, I'm also the kind of person that I will gladly help people that are like pushing for the same things as me. If you want a open, inclusive business, it doesn't have to be about board games. It could be a cafe. It could be whatever. Like I will still, you know, I will give you whatever knowledge that I can provide to you, to help make it happen, because I love seeing business like this. Like I chat business with Ben at Netherworld a lot.
I love
like every
Ben.
time we see each other, it's just a chat about how the industry's going.
We should get him on the podcast.
Yeah. I asked him.
Dude.
Oh, sorry.
Dude, that was like between us.
Oh, sorry.
You spoiled it, bro.
Cut that shit.
Cut that.
And I think the only other thing, the thing that I know that I filibuster on, that I will just talk nonstop about, is any like RPG based world building.
I was actually about to say that. I was like, if you don't bring up like designing campaigns and such, like, bro, you could go on.
I love world building. I think it's some of the way to express creativity through world building is amazing.
So cool.
There's, you know, the one thing you have to detach yourself from is like understanding that everything has been made under the sun. So there will be stuff that is similar to things. There will be stuff that you've inadvertently ripped off from other things. But it's about
I'm like the reverse of that. Like I'm like, for me, it's like my world building. It's like if it can be as close to Dinotopia as possible. Like I want you to go. Is this actually just Dinotopia?
Did you just like get the Dinotopia
like
book
the
and then just
actual-
hand that to me?
'cause-
Like, no.
And you
See,
know,
we don't ride pterodactyls. We ride Quetzalcoatls.
Yeah,
so
Quetzalcoatls.
it's quite different.
you know, and that's the thing is like I've written all of this. Like I'm not used Dinotopia, but I will get as close as humanly possible.
Yeah. I like to like when I realize that I've inadvertently done something that someone else has already done through a major like creative endeavor, I do my best to like, you know, sell like how can I make this my unique spin? How would I want to experience this kind of element in my worlds? So, you know, there is still a way to creatively change things and build things, you know. And yeah, I love it. I think I spoke to Ree, who does events here, who our event manager here at Brisbane, Ree, who also is a writer herself.
They're phenomenal, by the way. They're great world builder.
They're really working through their novel at the moment too.
Sounds sick.
Go follow them on TikTok. I'll put the link down there. I remember talking to her a lot about, I think it was like a good 30, 35 minutes where I was like, hey, I just want to check what your thoughts are on this magic system that I've kind of created for my, you know, custom D&D world. And then it kind of spiraled into some other things and some other avenues I can pull from and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, like it just became this like 30-minute discussion of like, oh man, and this and this and this and this and this. So I love talking about creative worlds that have been built that I can talk, like I can be involved in. I can build myself. Building creative worlds, like, you know, I mean, last year I watched Sinners, the Ryan Coogler film, and the thing that I really like, the cinematography, amazing, music, stunning. But for me, the thing I walked away with the most was like, wow, the world building in this film that is just like peppered throughout, you know, this idea of music connecting souls through time, and then makes the villain a little bit more tragic because he's trying to reconnect to his past because everyone he knows is dead. So he folds this person.
Spoiler alert for sinners if you haven't seen it.
If you haven't seen it,
Wham, wham,
wham. Go stop this. Go watch it. It's on Amazon.
Pretend you didn't hear any of that.
And it's also on HBO. Just go and watch it. It's a stunning film with a great setup. The most like 90s premise ever.
It seems
like,
very, very retro.
Yeah. It's very 90s premise. You see it from the trailer. Vampires crash speakeasy. Like that's it. That it's like a 3-word treatment. That it just the execution is nailed. But yeah, there's just so much world building peppered throughout that I can just love.
I'll just touch on world building just because I want to gush about something. I could probably filibuster about actually for like ages. It's not a hobby, but Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I've been telling you to play this game and not been spoiling anything because, and I'm not saying a single word about this game, but I think that game I played it. I consider the Outer Wilds.
Yep.
Not Outer Worlds by Obsidian. The Outer Wilds to be one of the best video games ever made. I think, as far as utilizing the medium of a video game to tell a story, The Outer Wilds still is my single favorite game. In the fact that you cannot possibly in any way have that experience that The Outer Wilds offers you outside of a video game format. It utilizes it perfectly. But E33, Claire Obscure, you've definitely heard about it. If you're watching this podcast, you've definitely heard about this game. If you've not played it already, has such an incredible world building. Like, unbelievable. Like, and I remember, people hyped it up to me. My mate was like, I hate when things are hyped up to me because I always get over ahead and I'm always disappointed. My mate was like, you really have to play this, dude. Trust me. You'll love it. It's right up your alley. I picked it up. I played it. I was playing it for ages and I was just like, this is wild. Like, I don't understand. I really don't get any of this. And it preys on that.
Yeah.
It preys on, it's like, I don't understand any of what's going on. I don't really get this. And there's this one kind of shift. There's a shift, pivotal moment. And then it's a domino set. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's unbelievable how
every little piece they
single tiny piece, click, click, all at once. Everything like click. It's like imagine a jigsaw puzzle where every single piece is floating in different heights, and then they all just go and drop at once.
Boom.
And it's all like a picture in front of you, and you go. And it's every single thing. It's the most subtle conversations between characters from like the very first act in the very first 50 minutes of the game. It's like the imagery of a candle on a cake makes sense now. You see no spoilers, but I'll tell you this. You see a candle on a cake and you think to yourself, well, that doesn't make sense. Why would that be the case? That doesn't make sense because all of this other stuff, is that just a joke by the developers? No. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's everything.
And I feel like one of the best things, like, I've been experiencing Claire Obscura through like clips of people playing it on Twitch and the award season, all that, and like the occasional and the trailer as well. Like I haven't, and just the one scene of the monkey guy coming in and the awesome
Monoko.
sax, the awesome Monoko sax and the Monoko super cuts of just him like I'm in. They'll be fighting. Oh yeah, fighting. Lots of fighting. I'm in. But yeah, I from my like cursory understanding from that point of view, it like I feel like the limitation they set themselves via that like fundamental storytelling of the fundamental line of why they're going on this expedition. I don't want to say it because I don't want to like spoil it for anyone if anyone is coming into that game entirely, because I think it's a great almost groundbreaking limitation.
It needs to be blind.
Of a story. But that limitation of why they're going on this thing, this expedition, does that like that element of world building then dictate all the stuff that you were talking about here?
So I'll tell you this much: why they're going on it, right, is flipped, and then when they find out what's going on, it does explain everything beforehand. The reason why they left in the first place is fully explained, and when it's explained, you kind of go like, it's yeah, I can't say it. It's mind numbing.
Also, like,
this is bad podcast content because we're both saying like it's so, but it's bad podcast content. But I will say, in the context of world building, I think I recommend anyone who loves that kind of like talking about world building, you have to play that game. Or hey, it's a visual novel essentially. Like
Yeah.
if you don't like turn-based strategy, it's not a tough game. It's got a difficulty slider as well. It's not a tough game. I play on the hardest difficulty because I'm a chud, but it's not a hard game. It can have its moments, but it's worth watching the whole thing
Yeah.
through. I recommend you play it because if you watch a playthrough, they'll play through it like normally, and that's fine. And it does have a great story normally. There's some secrets that aren't hard to find that you just will keep playing. Like you'll like the game and then you'll keep playing it. If you keep playing it, you learn even more things. But the information you learn, it's not like Dark Souls or whatever, where it's like you need to piece together all these crazy things. No, it's very overt.
Yeah.
Very overt, explains it on
Okay.
its nose. It's done like a visual novel.
Well, I guess I'll have to figure out and play it because I finally played through the God of War stuff, and I'm really down with that.
Speaking of overt storytelling,
Yeah.
yeah, very good. All right, well,
those are the answers to questions you provided in the form we sent out. I hope you enjoy them. If you want to see more from the Vault, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, let us know in the comments any other questions you may have. I'm more than happy to answer.
rate us on, if you're listening on Spotify, please rate us on Spotify. That does go a really long way.
Yep.
Really, really important. It's like
You can comment on Spotify now too.
you can
by the
comment
way.
now, which is, we really appreciate that. We'll be reading them. Thank you so much for being here. If you're listening to part 1, I assume you're on part 2 now. It's been a very long recording process. So thanks for sticking with us. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, if you have any more questions, this will not be the first Q&A. It's the first Q&A we've done. It won't be the last.
No.
So we'll do some more of these. So if you want to hear more of these, that's great. Otherwise, we're back on our normal schedule. So we'll be doing just discussion topics over the next couple of recordings. And yeah, it's really good.
Lens. And if you are coming across this video and you haven't watched episode 1, like part 1 of this, the link's down below. Or if you're watching on YouTube, it'll be
In the description.
up here.
Oh yeah,
as
we'll
well.
point at it too. I'll point in a different direction that Dylan's pointing. So as it switches back and forth, it's always wrong.
Yeah, it's always wrong. It's always wrong.
Thank you so much, Teddy.
I'll just keep it on one thing. Thank you so much, Teddy, for running the behind the scenes stuff today.
Connor will not be able to join us today. He might be able to join us in the future. I'm not sure what's happening with Connor. We'll see. If you're listening, Connor, be available, dude. Come on. Come on. I don't care your kid's a year and a bit. Come on. Bring him with us. We'll put Ollie on the podcast. We'll ask Ollie questions. I'm kidding, of course. But thank you so much, Teddy. Really appreciate that. That means the world to us. And
we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.